knockout match that was, well, it was decided by the absolute narrowest of margins. It was a crazy story of survival, some heroic saves, a ton of luck, and just unbearable tension.
But you know what? Let's actually start at the very end. That final whistle. For one team, it's pure relief, and for the other, just utter heartbreak. That sound sealed a truly dramatic victory. So, Arsenal scraped through. They advanced to the semifinals. But honestly, the scoreline doesn't even begin to tell you the real story. To get what this victory actually meant, we have to go back and see just how they managed to survive such a relentless onslaught.
Okay, so first, let's just set the stage for this incredibly high-stakes game.
The pressure from the get-go was just immense. Arsenal had this tiny one-goal cushion from the first match, what we call the aggregate lead. But, and this is a big but, they were playing away from home against a huge rival who was desperate to turn things around. I mean, every single pass, every tackle felt massive. There was absolutely zero room for error.
And Chelsea, they came out of the gates with just unbelievable intensity. This wasn't some slow build-up, it was an all-out assault right from the beginning. They completely dominated possession, they were pressing high up the pitch and just creating chance after chance from the very first whistle.
And yeah, it really didn't take long for the first massive opportunity. Chelsea just carved open the Arsenal defense, the ball is laid on a plate for their attacker. It looked like a certain goal, a goal that would have leveled the whole tie.
And then she missed. Incredibly. It was a huge, huge let-off for Arsenal, for sure. But more than that, it was a terrifying signal of what Chelsea was planning to do all night. A real sign of what was to come.
So if that first chance was a warning shot, this was a full-blown emergency. A world-class pass just splits the entire defense. And who's on the end of it? Sam Kerr, one of the best strikers on the planet, running it on goal, one-on-one with the keeper. This is the exact scenario Chelsea was dreaming of.
But this time, it wasn't a miss. This was just pure goalkeeping heroics. An absolutely incredible, decisive save that single-handedly kept Arsenal's fragile lead alive. It was the first moment of individual brilliance that they desperately, desperately needed.
Okay, next up, a moment of just massive drama and a huge momentum swing that could have changed everything for Arsenal. So then, completely against the run of play, Arsenal get this glimmer of hope. On one of their very few attacks, a quick counter, a smart run, and boom, the ball is in the back of Chelsea's net. For just a split second, Arsenal thought they had a two-goal cushion, but then comes the dreaded review for a possible offside.
And just like that, that brief moment of relief, totally wiped away. The goal is chalked off, the score doesn't change, and the Chelsea siege just keeps on coming.
So, with that false hope gone, Arsenal found themselves right back under enormous pressure. And as the game wore on, survival started coming down to the absolute finest of margins. I mean, we are talking about inches here.
This is how close it was. Seriously, not once but twice Chelsea were denied by the post. On this particular night, the woodwork was basically Arsenal's best friend and a total lifesaver.
So the first time this happened, it came from this amazing piece of individual skill by Lauren James. She makes some space for herself and just unleashes this powerful shot that has the keeper completely beaten. It looked for all the world like it was flying into the back of the net. But no, it smacks back off the post. An inch to the right and the entire tie is level. It was just a heart-stopping moment and Arsenal were saved by, well, nothing more than a little bit of luck. Then, later in the match, Chelsea's getting more and more desperate, and the ball falls to Frida Mornaham, who hits this powerful strike from the right. And you just can't believe it. It happens again. It hits the woodwork for a second time. You can even hear the disbelief in the commentary. For Chelsea, it must have felt like the universe was just against them.
But listen, it wasn't just the goalposts keeping Chelsea out. In between those two shots I hit the frame, they created yet another golden opportunity, with the ball falling to Lusker in a perfect position to score.
And really, this was the story of the whole game, this crazy combination of luck and skill. When the woodwork wasn't saving Arsenal, their goalkeeper was, pulling off another incredible, absolutely vital save to deny Chelsea. But still, despite all the saves and the lucky bounces off the post, that kind of relentless pressure, it just felt like it couldn't last. Eventually, you felt like the dam had to break, and that set up an incredibly nail-biting finish.
With the clock ticking down, another attack comes down the wing. A cross gets whipped into the box, and this time, After everything, the Arsenal defense was finally decisively broken.
And there it is. Chelsea get the goal they so deserved. It cuts Arsenal's aggregate lead down to just a single, incredibly fragile goal with only minutes left to play. The tension at this point was just off the charts.
In the end, Arsenal did manage to hold on. They survived those last frantic minutes to advance. But their dramatic, heart-stopping survival really leaves us with a fascinating question. In knockout football, when the margins are this paper-thin, what's more important? Is it the skill of a brilliant goalkeeper and disciplined defending? Or is it the good fortune of a ball hitting the post instead of the net? You know, maybe the real answer is you just can't